Slow productivity. Is that a thing? Can it be? Hi, I'm Jenny and I have a confession to make. And that is that I am a low energy creator. Did you know that that was a thing? I actually didn't realize it was a thing until last year when I saw this woman pop up on my TikTok feed and describe the challenges she faces as a low energy creator. And I said out loud, oh my God, that's me. And at the time, I think I was also learning about human design and really starting to understand that as a projector in human design, my energy system just was not built to provide me with consistent energy. And I can't tell you how validating it felt to be told that. Actually, there's not something just wrong with me that made me incapable of keeping up with other folks who seem to be able to wake up at 5 a.m. and just go all day long, crushing their productivity goals and hustling their way to success. While I, still tired after even 8 hours of fitful sleep, could only manage a couple hours of real focused work a day before my brain and my body begin to deteriorate into a useless puddle, landing me in a sad state of disappointment in myself for failing to get what I considered a normal amount of things done in a day. Feeling also like I'd disappointed other people, or I had to push through the fatigue, feeling like maybe I was secretly dying of some Victorian wasting disease that would claim me sooner or later. Yeah. Now, I don't have a chronic condition that I know of, although many people who identify as a low energy creator, or low energy anything, they often do deal with conditions that leave them constantly fatigued or physically worn out just from trying to get through the day. And my heart really goes out to anyone who's trying to figure out how to realize their dreams or create something new or just survive while dealing with the challenges of a chronic disease. So what do we do when we're faced with a world full of people and other creators online who seem absolutely obsessed with productivity and achievement while we're working with a limited supply of energy, focus, and physical stamina? Well, I think for starters, we have to give ourselves grace and recognize that comparing ourselves to everyone else is not going to help anything. I mean, everyone has different challenges in their lives, so just because someone looks like a high-achieving rock star on Instagram does not necessarily mean that that's an accurate representation of their life 100% of the time. So stop comparing and start practicing more self-love and compassion. If you can even just take a couple of minutes in your day to say some supportive affirmations, listen to a self-love meditation, or write down a couple of things you're grateful for in your life, I highly recommend starting a practice like this to cultivate more compassion and appreciation in your life. Just working on those two things will help every other aspect of your life, I swear. Now, blanket statement about everything else I'm going to say. Everyone is in a different body with different needs, different histories, and in different environments. So I may talk a bit about things that help me and maybe they aren't right for you. You have to be discerning about what content you take in and about what to do with your life and how or whether you implement any of that advice. So when it comes to nutrition and doctors, I am definitely not a doctor, I'm just putting that out there. But my advice would be if what you're doing right now isn't working for you, you have to do some detective work to find out what may help you better source and manage your energy. Ask questions like, how are you sleeping? What are you eating? Are you getting outside? Are you around people with negative or draining energy? All things that you can investigate and consider making changes to that might help. For example, on top of low energy, I struggled with cystic acne for years. And I knew that my hormones were not balanced and it was affecting my life a lot. And so two things I did to try and get to the bottom of the issue were food intolerance testing and cycle syncing. So through food intolerance testing, I found out that I have issues digesting white flour and cream. Fun. And not only did it really help my skin to limit how much of those foods I ate, it actually helped my overall health because those foods also made me feel really sluggish and uncomfortable. Then through cycle syncing, I now know my body so much better. And I went through 40 years of life without actually understanding how my body and my hormonal cycle worked, if you can believe that. Sadly, it is really common for women to have never received any education in how to support our hormones through the different phases of our cycle. I mean, my doctors never talked to me about this. I spent over 20 years asking doctors about my skin. And while I was prescribed a lot of creams and antibiotics and chemicals to try and control it, no one ever talked to me about my diet or my hormones. Crazy. Now I actually take an herbal tincture every month that's called Elix, and that has made a huge difference in how I feel before and during my period. It's also pretty much made my hormonal acne basically disappear. So there's that. I also pay more attention to the weekly changes in my infradian cycle and how it affects my energy and my moods, so I can plan my life to work with that cycle instead of plowing through every day as if I have the same capacity for work or exercise or focus, social interaction, and emotional balance as always, because newsflash, we do not, and we are not supposed to. Other important things to consider are whether your daily blood sugar fluctuations are tanking your energy or supporting it. This one is huge, people. Blood sugar has a huge impact on our hormones, our energy, and our moods. I recommend Elisa Vitti's book, Woman Code, if you want to learn more about it. Her book actually helped me discover that my morning tea ritual was not setting me up for success by sending my blood sugar on a roller coaster every day that resulted in major energy deficits in the afternoon that I often treated with, you guessed it, more sugary tea. Not good. So I've had to address this habit along with some other things like how much alcohol I drink, what time of day I eat, how much protein I'm getting, how to get more early morning natural sunlight, how to get less blue light exposure, especially before bed. There are just so many wellness practices you can look into to help support you or course correct things that are actively hurting your well-being. I recommend noting down a couple of things you'd like to start looking into because it can be overwhelming, so just pick one or two, and then find some experts that you can trust to help you understand how this might be affecting your life. And if you want a more holistic approach to addressing your overall wellness, you might try finding a functional medicine doctor or a naturopath who will be able to look at your body, lifestyle, and environment as a whole. Now, on to productivity and creation. I don't know if the term slow productivity is a thing, but it should be, and I'd like to implement it in my life. And to me, that looks like a day that is not scheduled from start to finish. A to-do list that only has one or two things on it. Flexibility to be able to change my plans or adjust them based on how I'm feeling. And this is a tough one. Acceptance that my output is probably going to be less and my progress is probably going to be slower than I would like it to be. And I'm just going to have to be okay with that. So here's some insight into how I work as a low energy, multi-passionate creative, which means that I have a lot of passions, interests, talents, and skills, and I tend to do a lot of different things that allow me to utilize or explore all of those things. For example, I work as an instructional designer for my day job, but I also freelance as a voiceover artist and spokesperson video creator on the side. I also write books and content for my blog and social media. I make short form video content for TikTok and YouTube. I have an Etsy shop that I design products for. I also love to perform, and I'm often rehearsing for plays and musicals with local theaters that I act in, direct for, and produce. Besides that, I just love to garden and sing and read and travel, play with my son, go on adventures. You get the picture. So how to fit all of those things into one life when you don't have boundless energy and your productive hours are pretty capped or limited? So first, I have to consider what kinds of tasks utilize different kinds of energy and when I have the capacity for each of those during the day. So I have the hours when I have better focus and I can get some of the more mentally taxing work done. Then I have hours when I have more physical energy to go on walks or do work in the garden or housework or run errands. And then I have hours when I don't have tons of mental capacity, but I can do more menial repetitive tasks. And this is when I do things like sit down and do video editing or creating Etsy listings, things that I don't have to think about much. I actually love just like sitting down, putting on some music or a TV show and relaxing while I do just like menial tasks on my computer. That doesn't even really feel like work to me sometimes. And then I have hours when I just have to accept that I need to rest. I usually experience this energy pattern in some form almost every day, and it tends to follow the same general pattern, so I can look at what priorities I have right now and when I might be able to attempt whatever tasks that entails in my day. What I don't do is look at my day and then pile on 8 hours worth of mentally taxing work because it's stuff that I know I want to get done. That might be true, but I also have to accept that it's not getting done in one day unless I'm gonna burn myself out. And honestly, like I can try it, but at some point I'm not even gonna be creating good work anymore. I don't have the focus or the mental stamina. And that's not a problem. It's just a reality. It just is. Here are some other tips that help me when it comes to planning and creating content. So planning content in advance is good. I'll sometimes just sit on the couch and take an hour of good mental energy time to note content ideas, to write scripts, to think about strategy or whatever else will help me stay consistent with my posting, my messaging, all of that. So I do that. And then another time when I'm in a better place for creating and filming and all of this stuff, I can use that time to start making the content, which is going to be easier at that time because I've already thought about it or written it and when I wanted to have it done by. So all I have to do at that point in time is just like make myself up and sit and record it. So it's a little bit of a shorter task that I can outsource to a different time of the day when I have a different type of energy. Focus on creating high quality content. It is, in my opinion, better to create a few high quality pieces of content than to create a lot of low quality content. So I don't put the pressure of posting every day on myself. Maybe it could be what all the gurus are saying you need to do to be successful, but oh well. If that's not the type of creator you have the capacity to be, then do not try to force yourself into that role. Creating aligned content when you feel good about what you're doing, I think is going to speak more powerfully to your audience than throwing out half-assed videos repeating the same stuff every day just to try and get views and likes and coverage or whatever. Also, a lot of creators batch their content, so if you find you're having a good day and you can create more than one video or blog or whatever you do, then just take advantage of that. And that's also really helpful to make sure you have content to post more consistently without having to do the same amount of work every week. So like right now, I post on TikTok once or twice a week, and I have my next couple videos already done. So I don't really have to worry about it. I did them in like one afternoon, and now I don't have to worry about it for a couple weeks. Next, promote your content, but do not drive yourself crazy to do it. Do not try to do it all. I have struggled with this. Believe me, you do not have to master every platform and every account on every social media. That would be insanity. So just select 1 to 3 of them that feel the best for you. For me, that's TikTok, blogging, and YouTube. Those are the 3 I do. I don't worry about other stuff. Personally, I do not enjoy like Instagram very much, and the thought of having to keep up with whatever they're doing, stories, reels, I have no idea what the difference between these things is. I don't know. It's too stressful for me. I can't keep up with it. So if you can use a service also to help share your content more easily, that could be a great option. I know there are platforms out there that can help automate your posts and funnels and all of that. So maybe look into that. And then finally, be patient. It takes time to build an audience. So just keep creating great content and do not obsess over the numbers. Consistency really is important though, so figuring out how to support your body, your environment, and the structure of your day are going to be the key things to getting the most out of what energy you are working with on a daily basis. Okay, this video is on the longer side, so even though there's a lot more I could say on this subject, I am going to bring this chat to an end for today. I really hope that my perspective and some of the tips I shared with you will be helpful. But, remember that you should be using discernment about whatever advice you hear and tuning into your body and intuition to uncover what is right for you. So thank you for listening, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video and anything you've discovered that is particularly helpful for you, because I'd love to hear it. My name's Jenny. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.